Welcome to Reddit Tea Time. This r/am I terrible story is from OP, who wants to know if he's terrible for not stopping a toddler from running into a pool. I was at a relative's house with my family and friends, and we were having a small pool party. Everyone I've ever explained this to seems to be shocked at my reaction, so I'll just get it out of the way. I have no experience with children. I've never held, talked to, or even been in the same area as a child for longer than a few minutes before this. The toddler's mother was a friend of my aunt's. I was outside sitting by the pool on a pool chair. At this moment, pretty much everyone was inside because a game was on. I was just outside alone by the pool. I don't know how to swim, but I had on trunks and enjoying putting my legs in the water. I was on my phone too, so I wasn't really paying attention. From the corner of my eye, I see a toddler sprinting away, but I didn't think much of it. Everyone seems to think I should see a hint of a child and immediately go into parental mode and stop the child. But my mind didn't even connect. I just continued on my phone, then I heard a splash. That's when I looked and saw the kid in the deep end of the pool. I shouted that the kid fell in the pool and someone ran out, jumped in, and pulled the kid out. The kid is fine, but the mother and some other people were angry at me and said I should have stopped the kid from jumping in. I just said they ran in. The mother also said I should have pulled the kid out, but I told her I can't swim. She seems to think I'm terrible. It was going on, and no matter what I said, she would just keep cutting me off and repeat herself and was really whiny. So I just told her that I'm done talking to her. I didn't know her before the day, so if this random lady thinks I'm terrible, oh well. I just got back to the chair and ignored her the rest of the day. A few other people are agreeing with her and saying, you see a child and you just become alert. It's natural. If I were walking down the road on a dark night and see a child alone, I'd stop and see to the kid. But this was a party and I didn't think the kid would just jump in. I don't really know how kids behave. Edit. I've received a million messages saying I should learn to swim for my own safety. I grew up poor and never even saw a pool in person until I was 17. There was no community pool, and I'm not about to be the 25-year-old in a swim class, LOL. I have no plans on going boating, fishing anytime in life, so it's all good. Edit 2. LOL, all the you're the terrible for not learning to swim. I'll take that. I'll be the terrible one that never swims. Edit 3. I want to clarify the situation in more detail. Me seeing the kid and hearing the splash was all within 10 seconds. I just saw the kid out of the corner of my eye while reading on my phone. I'm sure if I wasn't on my phone and saw a toddler walking around the edge of the pool, I would get up and take the kid to somewhere else. And as for what happened with the mother, she was scolding me for an hour and would cut me off, not let me speak, and was being rude. She said, I don't care if you can't swim, you should have jumped in, and I said that was ridiculous. This went on for an hour. I realized there was no hope in this conversation. I don't know this lady and she isn't my friend, so I felt no need to make things right. I just said, I'm not talking to you anymore, you're doing too much, and just sat down and ignored her. She talked to me for a bit more, but I just ignored her until she left me alone. Let me get this straight. You were at a pool party, sitting by the pool, minding your own business, and a toddler just decides to take a dive in the deep end? And people are blaming you for not stopping the kid? I mean, come on. How were you supposed to know that was going to happen? It's not like you're a mind reader or anything. And then to top it off, the kid's mother and some other people are getting in your face about it, saying you should have jumped in and saved the kid. But hello, you can't swim. What were you supposed to do, drown with the kid? That's ridiculous. And to top it off, the mom was being all whiny and cutting you off when you were trying to explain yourself? How rude. Look, kids are unpredictable and can be a handful, but that doesn't mean you have to be on high alert every second of the day. And just because you don't have experience with kids doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you're not used to dealing with them. So to all those people who are blaming you for what happened, I say take a step back and think about what you're saying. And to the kid's mom, I say stop being so rude and disrespectful to people you barely know. It's not a good look. My question to her is, why wasn't she paying attention to her own kid? Sounds like she was feeling guilty and looking to shift the blame for her carelessness to someone else. To you, my friend, I say, don't let these people get you down. You did nothing wrong. Just keep living your life and enjoying those pool parties, okay? This next r/am I terrible story is from OP, who wants to know if she's terrible for telling her sister that she's becoming a mother-in-law from hell like her own mother-in-law. My sister is 33 and I'm 25. My sister has been married to Kevin since she was 18 and has 4 kids with him who are 8, 6, 5, and 3. Her oldest 2 and her youngest are boys, and her 5-year-old is a girl. My sister has always complained about her mother-in-law being too in her husband's business, being too possessive of her husband, and doesn't respect her as the mother of her grandchildren or her son's wife. She's also mentioned how her husband's 2 sisters have nothing to do with their own mother because she heavily favored her boys and never took the same level of interest in them. This is 100% my sister. She's one of those boy moms who talks about girls one day taking her babies away from her, how she'll be dad's mom and never see grandkids, how her boys won't need her as much when they get older, and how sad it makes her. She posts all sorts of memes about that and has even made some videos for her Instagram where she talks about boy mom life and has cried on videos saying she'll miss her boys when they move out and get married. My niece is the only child she never mentions in those videos. She's never talked about a future son-in-law taking her baby girl away from her or anything like that. She even cried to our mom a couple of times about how she's going to have her babies leave her one day and not want to be her little guys anymore. A couple of times when she's brought this stuff up to me, I've asked her why she's just sad about her boys growing up and why she'd want them to have the same relationship as now in 20 years. She always ignores me. I have 2 kids myself. My son's 2.5 and my daughter was born a couple of weeks ago, and I'm excited for them to grow up and be amazing people. But I also enjoy the moments we have now, and I feel as though my job as their mom and my husband's as their dad is to help them grow into amazing people while also caring for their needs while they're too little to do that for themselves. A couple of days ago, my niece was with me for the day and she asked me if I was sad that I had a girl this time. I told her no, that I love my daughter and could not trade her for the world. I asked her why she asked me that, and she said she feels like her mommy wishes she was a boy too and how her mommy prefers her brothers. She also mentioned her mom was not spending time with her and she asked me to speak to her mom for her. I spoke to my sister yesterday and told her my niece was feeling neglected and maybe she should spend some time with her. She waved that off, and then I saw she was posting again about boy moms and saying she'll always be the number 1 woman in their lives. I told her she needs to cut that stuff out because it's creepy and she's shaping up to be the mother-in-law from hell, and just like her own mother-in-law she hates so much. She accused me of talking out of turn and having no idea what it's like. Am I terrible? Oh my goodness, your sister is all about being a boy mom and she's neglecting her daughter. That's not okay. And she's complaining about her mother-in-law being too possessive, but she's doing the same thing with her sons. That's hypocritical. Posting all those memes about her sons being her everything and not wanting a future daughter-in-law to take them away is very creepy. That's not healthy. And when you tried to talk to her about it, she accused you of not knowing what it's like. Please, being a mom is hard, but that doesn't give you a free pass to neglect your daughter and act possessive over your sons. So no, honey, you're not terrible. You're just trying to do the right thing and help your niece. Keep doing that and maybe your sister will come around eventually. This next Am I Terrible story is from OP, who wants to know if she's terrible for refusing to sit next to some guy. I was riding an almost empty train. There were maybe 5 or 6 people in the whole carriage. I sat in a 4-seater, 2 seats on one side, 2 across, and spread out my stuff. Put my jacket on the seat across from me and put my feet on it so that the seat wouldn't get touched by my socks. If it matters, it was early in the morning and I had been wearing those socks for less than an hour. My shoes were also clean as I alternate 2 pairs daily to let them dry out between uses. A guy, I guess in his late 40s or maybe early 50s, entered the train, came straight to me and said, "Move your bag." I was puzzled since there were plenty of free seats to go around, so I asked if he really wanted this particular seat, and he said yes. So I picked up my bag. He plopped down next to me, and I proceeded to pack up my laptop, drink, jacket, put on my shoes, and moved to a different four-seater. I spread out again. Before I could even get my shoes off, the dude was standing in front of me and said, "Move your bag." I asked why. He said that he wanted to sit there. I answered that he had wanted the seat that I vacated for him, so I don't see why he would want to switch seats. He scoffed and explained that it was not about the specific seat, but about entitled people who think their bags deserve a seat. I told him that I moved once for him and wouldn't move again. He made a movement as if he wanted to grab my bag, and I raised my voice saying, "Don't you dare." He started lamenting about entitled people again. I told him I moved for you. There are hundreds of free seats on this train. Sit somewhere else. He called me terrible and went back to his seat. Then he called someone on the phone, or acted like it, who knows, and proceeded to loudly complain about entitled bees. To be clear, when a train fills up, I of course gather my stuff and vacate seats around me so that others can sit. But I don't see why I should let some rando boss me around and invade my personal space for no reason. Edit. I'm having a good laugh about all the people commenting on me putting very clean socks on my reasonably clean jacket, while of course instead there must be only butts on seats. And as we all know, butts are so much more hygienic than feet. I seem to have pinpointed that is considered bad manners in some cultures. Maybe in the US, where a lot of users are coming from. In my culture, it's not considered bad manners, so I won't be taking your advice of keep your damn shoes on to heart. My question was also about refusing to let the guy sit next to me, not across from me. So I'm really amused by so many people focusing on that. So I'll be ignoring all shoe-related comments, but of course, if your heart so desires, please let it all out. Edit 2. Okay, now people are sliding into my DMs and asking for pictures of my feet. What have I done? Oh my god, what in the entitled men world is going on here? This dude has the nerve to come and tell this woman to move her bag when the train is practically empty? And then when she does move, he comes back and harasses her again? And all because he thinks her bag shouldn't be on a seat? The only entitled person on this train is the one who thinks he can boss someone around like that. And then he has the audacity to call her terrible and complain about entitled bees? Sir, you are the terrible person in this situation. And let's not even get started on the fact that he's calling someone on his phone and complaining like a damn child. This woman has every right to spread out on an empty train, and she shouldn't have to move just because some man wants to sit next to her. You go, girl, stand up for yourself and don't let these entitled fools push you around.